The training field buzzed with laughter and challenge. The SEALs had gathered for their favorite ritual, the obstacle course trials. Every year, rookies tried and failed to beat the base S unbroken record, a time set 10 years ago by Commander Holt, a legend among them. But today, something different happened. A woman, in jeans, not uniform, stood at the edge of the crowd, watching quietly. She looked like someone's visitor, a sister maybe, or a curious journalist. Nobody thought much of her until she spoke, voice calm but clear. "May I take a turn? Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening." A few of the men chuckled. One even smirked. "Ma'am, this isn't a sightseeing tour," said a lieutenant, trying to sound polite. The woman didn't flinch. She only smiled faintly and glanced toward the course. Her eyes, steady and deliberate, scanned every rope, beam, and wall like she'd run them before, like she knew them. The laughter grew. Someone muttered, "She'll last 5 seconds." But when the base commander, the same Holt who'd set the record, caught sight of her, his face changed. He froze, eyes narrowing as if he'd seen a ghost. "Let her try," he said quietly, and just like that, the field went still. The whistle blew. She sprinted forward, not fast, but efficient. Her movements were measured, graceful, like muscle memory in motion. The first wall she climbed with no hesitation. The second she vaulted over using momentum, not strength. Every obstacle that made others grunt or stumble she turned into rhythm, a silent dance of precision and control. Within seconds, the smirks vanished. Even the skeptics leaned forward, whispering to one another. "Who is she? Look at that grip. She's trained." By the midpoint, the stopwatch crew looked uneasy. She was ahead of the record. Dust trailed her boots, sunlight flashing on her wrist where a faint scar ran down her arm, one that looked suspiciously military. Holt's jaw tightened. He remembered that scar. He remembered the woman who'd earned it. 5 years ago, Lieutenant Kara Voss had vanished during an overseas operation, reported KIA after saving a team pinned under enemy fire. He'd blamed himself every day since. And yet, here she was, alive, running like the war had never ended for her. The crowd erupted as she cleared the final rope climb. Her hands trembled, but her focus never broke. She landed, rolled, and sprinted toward the finish line, dust spiraling behind her boots. She slapped the end post. The timer beeped. Silence. Then someone shouted the number. "New record!" The courtyard exploded. Shouts, applause, disbelief. Even the ones who'd mocked her seconds ago stood speechless. Kara, chest heaving, looked around with quiet humility. No triumph, no pride, just a small, tired smile. Holt walked toward her slowly. His eyes glistened with something between pride and guilt. "You were supposed to be gone," he whispered. Her voice broke slightly, but her stare held steady. "I was, but they never found my will to fight." The men who'd laughed earlier lowered their eyes. The truth of her strength, not in muscle but in spirit, hit harder than any victory ever could. One of the younger recruits stepped forward, eyes wet. "Ma'am? Teach us?" She nodded. "Only if you're ready to learn what endurance really means." That afternoon, under the burning sun, Kara led them, not just through drills, but through perspective. She told them endurance wasn't about strength or speed, but purpose. That pain meant nothing if you didn't know why you were pushing forward. By sunset, the base was silent again, but something had changed. The record she set wasn't just physical, it was moral. A reminder that even legends can rise from ashes, and that sometimes the greatest victories are the quiet ones. Before leaving, Kara turned to Holt. "You once told me every soldier leaves a mark," she said softly. "I just came back to prove mine didn't fade." Holt saluted her, eyes full of emotion. "It never did." She walked away, boots echoing softly against the concrete, a living echo of resilience. Because greatness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, waits, and then strikes like truth itself. And in that quiet field, they realized, courage never dies. It just waits for its turn. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their strength. And subscribe to Whispered Words for more cinematic stories of courage, redemption, and the human spirit, where every mission tells a story worth remembering. Strong CTR line. Because real power doesn't ask for permission. It simply takes its turn.